All right, so here's the deal. We've been getting by with this mobile connector for quite some time, and this is our setup. So what we did when we got our first Tesla is we had an electrician come out and we had this NEMA 1450 outlet installed. So it's just a standard outlet. Some houses already have these in them, generally for either a dryer or a oven, in some cases, are a 1450. So this has worked out really well for us. And for the longest time, what we did is only have this set up. So we bought the adapter from Tesla. At the time it was $35, it's $45 now for that 1450 adapter from Tesla. Used the mobile connector and this worked out great. But to be fair, we had free charging at work. So it's not like we were in a huge risk all the time of not having this with us. So the only time we unplugged this is when we went on road trips. Now things are changing. As you probably know at this point, we now have 2 Teslas. So this is probably not going to suffice for our needs in the future. So we have decided now that we have 2 Teslas, it's time to make the investment and go ahead and get a wall connector. Now these mobile connectors, as long as you leave them plugged in and you're not unplugging them every single day, they're all right. And to be honest, the free charging that we had at work, we had to bring a second mobile connector with us and it was plugged and unplugged every day and we've never had an issue. But for wear and tear and just to have a little bit more security and safety, we are going to have the wall connector now moving forward. Now for at least 6 months of ownership, this was the only charger that we had with our original Model Y. And what we ended up doing is some time ago, we were able to get our hands on a second mobile connector from somebody who bought a car, sold it, but still had their mobile connector. So we just bought another 1450 adapter and we had 2 connectors. So we kept one in the car and then this one just stayed on the wall. So I'm going to show you something really cool because for those of you who already have an outlet installed in your garage or wherever you're parking, this actually is going to make the wall connector install super easy and you're not going to need an electrician. Now, if you don't have the 1450 outlet installed, of course, you're going to have to do a little bit more than what we're doing today, but here's what we're going to do. You can get these at a local hardware store or on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. But this is basically for a oven or for a dryer. So it's a 1450 outlet and it's got all your plugs here. So we're going to actually remove these connectors and we're going to use this to power the wall connector. So our wall connector is not going to be hardwired, and there's a couple advantages to that, as well as some disadvantages. The number one advantage is I don't have to hire an electrician to set up in my box for this thing to be hardwired. Now, as it sits right now, I don't have any more slots anyways, and the existing slot that I'm using for this mobile connector, I had them go ahead and put a 50 amp in there. So it's actually a 50 amp line that's set up, and that's gonna work great for this. You can go all the way up to a 60 amp. So since we're only going to have a 50 amp, we can use this 1450 outlet, which of course is maxed at 50 amps. At 50 amps, we should be getting just shy of 10 kilowatt charge rate with this setup. So right now we get about 29 or 30 miles per hour of charge. With this new setup, getting that 40 amps to the car, we should be getting closer to 36, 37 miles per hour of charge. So it'll be a little bit faster, and it's also going to be a little bit more convenient because the wall connector also comes with a 24-foot cable. So that's going to be nice to have as well. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and you're going to be surprised possibly at how easy this is to do, because all the wiring you're doing is not going to be done on a live line. So all the wiring is going to be set up on the charger, and then you're just going to plug it in and you're good to go. If you do something wrong, it's just going to trip the breaker, so there's little risk. However, I am not an electrician, I'm not a professional, so everything I'm doing on my own accord. I'm not suggesting you do it the same way, just in case you do something wrong. If you don't feel comfortable, of course, get an electrician. However, I'm pretty confident in my own setup that I can make this work just fine. So I'm going to show you how to do it if you so desire to want to look more into this by doing it yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the wall connector here. Open the box. As you can see, it looks exactly like what you've seen in the past. Nothing too crazy. This is a V3, so It will connect to Wi-Fi, which means it can get over-the-air software updates, which is good. So looking behind here, we can see there's the 24-foot cable and the wall mounting template that we will be using to mount this to the wall over here in the corner of our garage. So let's go ahead and get this thing opened up where all the hardware is located on the inside. So just pull that open, and then we can place the faceplate to the side. But this is essentially what we're going to be working with wiring and mounting. So we can see all of our included hardware is in here. We've got a couple of bolts, a couple of screws, a hex adapter for our screwdriver, and a zip tie. So everything's going to wire into here. Now, since my mounting is going to be against the wall and the wiring is going to need to be able to come with the charger should I want to unplug it and take it with me, I'm going to use this bottom mounting holes. So pretty easy since it is a removable cap here. So just kind of pull it down and it'll come off. That's where my wiring is going to come through. Now, the one thing this does not include that I'm going to have to get is I'm going to have to get a piece that goes in here and protects the wiring. And the reason is because we're going to have a big open gap here once the wiring goes in. So I'll have to add that onto here after. All right, so there is one thing that's less than ideal, and it is the fact that my two studs located in this area are right up against the panel, and then this side that's half drywall, half not drywall. So this is going to be a bit of an issue, but we can work around it. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some scrap drywall that I have just to kind of fill in this space, so that way we don't have this step down, and I'm going to mount it right here. Now, per the instructions, what we're going to do is line this up exactly where we want it, and we're going to use a 5/32 drill bit to drill into the stud just for this template. So we should be able to get this nice and straight right about here, right at about chest level is where we want it. That's the right height. All right, now that I have my piece of drywall up, I can now look at placing this, and because it's two pieces of drywall that are generally straight, I can just focus in on the middle of these holes. So that's what I'm gonna do right about there. All right, now we need to make these pilot holes in the bracket itself. As you can see, we have the 3 on the bottom, we have these 3 on the top, and they conveniently correspond to those holes we just made. So we're gonna use the middle slot up top and the middle slot down on the bottom. And for the bracket, you're going to use a 1/4 inch drill bit to drill these pilot holes. All right, now we got our 2 holes, so we're ready to roll. All right, so this is the part where we're gonna install our wiring now. So let's go ahead and get this unrolled. Okay, and as I mentioned before, we are not going to use these connectors here. So what we're going to do is we're gonna cut all of them off except for the white one, because this white one we're actually not going to use at all. It's just gonna sit in this box tucked away. So let's go ahead and pop off all of these. Now that that's done, what we need to do is peel back the insulation for each of these 3. So if you've got wire splicers, you won't have to do it this way. So next we're going to want to feed this in. These connectors are going to come right back down in the configuration that I have. So it's going to come up through the bottom, up and around. Now if you're coming from the top, it's going to go the opposite way. So just follow the directions in the instructions and it'll tell you which way to set this up. Okay. Now, for the order this goes in, what we're going to do is green all the way over here, red in the middle, and black on the inside. That is the correct configuration for these three. So green, then red, then black. All right, so you can see we've got all three wires, green first, then red, then black. And as you can see what it looks like on the other side, maybe a little bit, you can see them poking out. So you just strap them down with these bolts here. All right, so the last thing that we want to do is kind of tuck this all away. This white one we don't want coming down in that direction, so we're gonna tuck it away up here. Gonna bend the wire a bit, and it should hold right there just fine. Shouldn't have any issues. It is going to be a little stiff at first, getting all this to kind of mash into place. All right, and now we're ready to put this back together. All right, so now that that's done, what we are going to do is go ahead and get this mounted to the wall. Make sure our pilot holes line up, which they do. All right, and now I'll give you a little bit of a close-up before we put the top back on, but we are all wired up and mounted to the wall, and it is very secure. All right, and then you're just gonna take the face plate and you're gonna line it up and push it right in place. And it will hold, but we need to put 4 bolts into it, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. All right, so now we are all melted up and it looks pretty good. Didn't end up scratching it along the way, which is always a plus. So the only thing left to do is to unplug our mobile connector and plug this one in. All right, and that green light is supposed to signify that it is on. The only thing left to do is to configure, and to do that, we're gonna scan this little code right here on the mobile charger, and we are going to get this thing all set up. But right now it looks like, I think we're in business. So with that, there's only one way to know for sure. So let's find out. That's a good first start. Green light. What does the screen say? All right, it is charging. So now this is a Model 3 standard range, so I'm only gonna be able to get 32 amps on this regardless, because the standard range plus onboard charger is a 32 amp charger. So I won't be able to get any faster charging than that on this particular car. Now on the long range all-wheel drive Model Y, I should be able to see more charging speed. So I'm excited to see what that looks like, but so far so good. It looks like we are charging. All right, so let's see what the long range battery does. All right, there's 40 amps, so that's good. And what I'm gonna do is go back and forth on miles and charge so we can see. So miles per hour, looking like our voltage is a little bit on the low side. We usually have 240 volts, at least on the mobile connector. So we've always had really good voltage coming out of this line. 36 miles an hour at 234, 235 volts, 40 amps. So it's about 6 miles per hour of charge faster, or 20% faster is another way to think about that. So that's pretty good. And I'll go back to, should be about 9. So there's 9. And this should be 9.6. So as you can see, it's kind of fluctuating between 9 and 10 kilowatts. So this is 9.6 kilowatt charge rate with a 40 amp setup. And again, voltage could be a little bit higher, but that's not too bad. So quite a bit faster charging this way instead of 32 amps on the mobile connector. All right, so there you have it. That was a pretty simple install. That took me all of 45 minutes, including filming. So pretty impressed, pretty happy with how that worked out. And I think that the value here is that the NEMA 1450 outlet can be used with the wall connector if you just use one of the plugs you can get either in the description on Amazon or at your local hardware store that's made for an oven or a dryer. So that 1450 plug worked perfect, and we will see just how well this works out for us. I'm excited to finally have it. When we first got our Tesla, I really wanted one, but it really wasn't necessary, and we've never needed this thing, but I am glad to have it now that we have 2 Teslas. So charging's a little bit faster since we're gonna need to split the charging from time to time, and we'll have a more robust setup to charge 2 Teslas. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bearded Tesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.